Okay, there may come a time when you do what seems to be irreparable damage to your system. Some of you guys have already experienced that in the install module when you forgot to activate networking or you didn't set one of your settings correctly and you couldn't SSH in. In the module where you make some user settings by changing their shell, inevitably some people mess that up and then they can't get back into their system. If you do that, all is not lost. So I'll show you a couple of different things. Mainly, I'll show you a couple of different things you can do to try to solve the issue in the order in which you should try them. So if you can't connect to your system, that means you get no route to host, or the connection just tries to time out. That's probably a network thing. After you verify that you're connected to the VPN and you can ping other things in the same subnets, you should try to ping 192.168.240.102. That would be the KVM server, or you could SSH into CNT serve and try to ping your server from there to make sure that it's not a VPN thing. But once you verify that you are connected to the VPN and you cannot connect, then you should open virt-manager and then go to your system and open the console. The console is the idea that you're connected to the machine right in front of it. You're connected to the keyboard, mouse, and monitor that are all connected to the actual server. That's the idea behind this. This is a virtual console. So if the network's broken, the virtual console will still work. If you screwed something else up where you can't connect, you might still be able to get in with the virtual console. So you should be able to log in with your root password if you know what it is, which I don't know. Apparently I don't know what my root password is. Let me try one more. That's not what I wanted to type, so that wasn't the right one. Well, this is a good example. So I can't get in with my root password, so what do you do now? If you can get in with the root password, then you can get in here and do whatever. It'll give you your normal console access. You can fix whatever you need to fix, whether it's the network settings, or if maybe you messed up your regular user ID and you can't log in with your regular user ID, and you also can't log in with root because we changed the SSHD settings to not let root log in. You can still get in the console and fix it. So what happens if you can't get in here, like I could just not get in here? Well, in that case, you can boot into single user mode. So to do that, in theory, you should be able to go up here and go reboot. But for some reason, that doesn't actually send the reboot signal to the server, and it doesn't work. So what you need to do is go up here and do well, try shutdown. I don't think that's going to work either. Normally we force it off, which is just like pulling the power plug, which may or may not be a good idea. But at this point, we don't really have any other options other than reinstalling. So if we jack it up terribly, it won't really matter. So then you start the machine back up. It's going to connect. It's going to come up to the boot menu. It's going to say press any key. Well, not the boot menu. It's going to say press any key, whatever. So we'll press a key. You have 5 seconds. Press a key. Now this shows you the different kernels you could try to boot. If perhaps you might have screwed up your kernel doing an upgrade, which isn't likely to happen the way we're running things. We're just using yum to install everything, so that's probably not a problem. We're going to stay on the top line, which is the most recent kernel, and then we're going to type E to edit it. That's going to show us these 3 lines. We want to change to the line that starts with kernel, and then we're going to hit E to edit it again, and then we're going to type the word single at the end of the line. So basically what that tells it is that you want to boot into single user mode. Single user mode is like the safest environment. It loads the least number of services. It doesn't even try to load the shell that you've specified in Etsy passwords. If you screwed up your shell, you can get in that way. So we'll hit enter. Not enter, we'll hit B to boot. See, it said right there, B to boot. And now it's going to boot into single user mode. It's going to start less services. Basically, it's going to mount the disks and start a few other services and give you a root shell. So here I am on my server. I'm root on my server even though I didn't know the password. So at this point, what I'm going to do is reset my password because I forgot what my password was. right? And that is what I needed to do on my server because I forgot my password. If you screwed up your shells, then you could edit the password file. You need to be very careful doing this, right? Change the shell to be bin bash, reboot it. Or if you're getting an error message saying that your file is not in Etsy shells, you could edit Etsy shells, put the sudo shell line in there. Whatever it is that you screwed up, at this point you now have the opportunity to fix it in single user mode. So to do that, you just log in, change the boot parameters to single user mode and log in. Single user mode, no network configured. You can't really bring it up from here. You just need to let the system continue loading. If you type exit, it will continue loading the system all the way up to run level 3, which is what we're doing. So now, in theory, I should be able to get in with my new password, hopefully. Hey, I just fixed my own server without having to involve any level 3 support. So that's if your system's still up and you can get in.